charging station for Teslas. I don't need to pull in there because I've got a generator on my vehicle. It runs on gasoline. On my drive down here from North Myrtle Beach, I was averaging 53 miles per gallon, and for about half the journey, I had a Tesla Model 3 right next to me, and we were kind of racing from one stoplight to another. I like to hit them rolling, keep them rolling. So that's what I was doing. Anyway, you can reach out and call me anytime. I'm exposing the reality of the world that we live in is far different than we're being told. I'm exposing the truth about that. And along those lines, what I wanted to tell you about is there is a body count. People get killed around 0 point energy, exposing government corruption, world government corruption. However, I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That's why I do this. So what I wanted to talk about too is we have technology to run an internal combustion motor like is in this car on water, effectively shattering the bond between oxygen and hydrogen and powering the engine and the generator. Okay, so I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. We also have technology, it's being suppressed. Technology exists to actually create electricity with permanent magnets. Now, you'll hear the sound of this, I'm sure. Let me, it's a neodymium spherical magnet. There's energy that's stored in these, and I've got other magnets too that I could show you. There's magnetite, it's not as strong, but then there's electromagnetic generators that require no outside fuel source. The Troy Reed magnet motor is what I'm referring to. Now, that technology can convert properly placed or permanent magnets to create a field of energy that accesses the 0 point energy. I don't know what's taken off right now, but it sounds big. Let me flip this around. Oh, let me see what I'm doing here. I'm not sure how to get that off of my screen. There we go. So the Myrtle Beach International Airport is located there. The moon is high in the sky right there. Can barely see it. The sun is going to appear over here in a little bit. I don't know, maybe they're not taking off yet. It sounded like maybe a fighter jet. We get them that take off from here, like an F-35. Anyway, there's a lot going on in the world here today. What I wanted to mention, there's a Tesla over there charging, or actually not charging, it's just parked there. But what happens with the charging stations is Tesla, the Tesla Corporation, buys electricity and resells it. Imagine if the big white boxes over there were actually creating electricity. Is that possible? Well, there's inductance energy out of Arizona that has a large flywheel. Magnet generator that makes electricity. You can also see the Joseph Newman technology that he discovered. He was on Johnny Carson in the early 80s. He showed how he could create massive amounts of electricity and kinetic motion, kinetic power to operate pumps and generators and all kinds of energy devices. So he was accessing what's called the 0 point energy field, which I wanted to refer to Stanley Meyer and the water car. So he was killed, Troy Reed was killed, and Joseph Newman were all killed because of they wouldn't shut up about the energy access that they found, the 0 point energy access. I've got a video with a thumbnail of the Cybertruck showing it, presenting it as a perpetual motion machine. Imagine having a large generator on that vehicle or any other electric vehicle. It doesn't have to be Tesla. If you're with Lucid Motors or any other electric vehicle and you want to reach out to me, I'm not afraid to talk about it, to show how it can all be done. The people that have developed this, though, here's the catch to all of that, is that the Department of Defense declared it a state of national security, a matter of national security, so they were not going to allow that out. Why is that? I thought we had too many people breathing, farting, and eating too much meat. They're all concerned about the environment. Well, there's disaster capitalism. It's a system of acquisition of material goods and property and control of the population based on a false narrative of climate change. The climate or the weather is changing. However, it's being highly manipulated. Now, the powers that be can't create silver out of thin air. I've got 3 ounces of silver here. Walking Lady Liberty and then the buffalo nickel, it looks like. I had a bunch of buffalo nickels. It's silver. Anyway, they can create money out of thin air by adding digits to a computer. So let's say you're Elon Musk and you decide to go on Saturday Night Live and announce that you're autistic or have Asperger's, and your stock, Tesla, takes a drop. And then you know it's going to go back up, so you buy a bunch of it, or people that are in the know that there's a lot of activity with stocks on the weekend. So was there foreknowledge to that? There's activity in the stock market that's suspicious. You can check that out on the events related to September 11th of 2001. There was a lot of unusual stock market activity. A lot of people didn't go into work that day. Sounds like foreknowledge to me. So this wicked system of control manipulates humanity by manipulating the news cycle, manipulating the stock market. Most of the activity on the market is done with high-speed computer trading. There's modeling that goes on with that. We've got the Internet of Things, which now includes human beings. There's nanotechnology that's put in the food, water, air, activated with electronics to directly mind control people. It's not just about showing cleavage and music and sex, drugs, and rock and roll, manipulating humanity to maybe have sexual activity or gender dysphoria. It's very bizarre. We're living in a Twilight Zone kind of world with a transpocalypse, transhumanism, transgendering, and people want to some want to totally disassociate themselves from their physical body. Where is Steve Jobs? heaven, hell, and or the cloud? How about Jacob Rothschild? Somebody pretending to be Jacob Rothschild, or I doubt if it was actually him, invited me to join the Illuminati with a promise of large sums of money, houses, and more. So did I go for it? No. No, I accepted their friend request and sent them the Bible.com website as well as my YouTube Truth channel. I've sent my YouTube Truth channel to Elon. Let's see if I can find that shirt. Here it is. Let me, I'm going to do this justice by flipping it around and showing you what I sent to Elon. It's a shirt like this. It's not identical, but it's similar. Let me, so about 4.5 years ago, I sent Elon a shirt similar to this. It didn't have my sticker on it. It had the Tesla Racing on it as well as the Cybertruck. And then on this one, I had Coastal Printing Photoshop me in the Roadster here. Hopefully we'll see that out one day. So I'm concerned about humanity. I'm concerned about the state of the world and the people that live in it, no, including Elon Musk and his mother and brother and sister and all their grandchildren, May's grandchildren, Elon's children, mothered by many women or several women. Who knows what's been going on with that? I've got a friend whose son is named Saxon, name of one of Elon's children, and he actually looked like a young Elon Musk. And I just very curious circumstances that I notice. There's a situational awareness, and what I would propose to everybody to consider, it's either true or not true. I'm permanently banned from the X platform for violating X rules. Well, it's Elon's sandbox. He violated his own rules and he gets to stay up there, and that's his prerogative. Before I was banned permanently from the platform, I had disseminated my deep learning artificial intelligence research library worldwide for consideration of the billionaires, trillionaires, yes, Jacob Rothschild, and yes, Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, who's probably actually running the country, or Satan. Some evil entity is behind what we're looking at. The destruction and deception, and all the warmongering for all the years. This battle between good and evil has been going on for a long time. So what about it? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the destruction of innocent men, women, and children, and animals and our environment, and holding the rest of us hostage with their sociopathic conduct. Now, considering with the backdrop of the Mandela effect and or the quantum effect, and can the past actually be changed? Is that something that can be done? Well, some believe so. I've compiled a deep learning AI research library that is scholarly in its content, and it's not just me talking about stuff. It crosses over all the different platforms that I'm on, was on, or will be on, related to my name and phone number. And some of the TED Talks or content that's been created covers a wide variety of topics, including the manipulation of humanity through quantum supercomputers and the grid, the Skynet, so to speak, and Starlink and the cell towers and the Wi-Fi and the Li-Fi, light frequency as well. All this is documented. I've got it together, but keep in mind there's a lot of people that are just not interested, and that is the majority. There's a very small percentage of humanity, apparently, that's interested in knowing the truth about the reality we live in. So it's more like the Matrix. Um, I'm saying that I live in many different simulated possibilities, as well as this base reality that I'm doing this video in right now. You're not actually seeing me unless you're the security guard driving around, or maybe the person in the Tesla is looking at me. I don't know. What you're seeing is a digital capture, broadcast, and a reassembly of it on your device. You're not really seeing me. However, I would say when I review it, it looks like me. It's a digital, uh, just short of magic, apparently. I believe we live in the short season of Revelation 20, where the devil, the fallen one, is released for a short season. I believe we've got the tribulation and the millennial reign of Christ in the rearview mirror. How about that? We got documentation to give strong evidence that that is very likely the case. I thought, well, we don't have any evidence of the tribulation in the rearview mirror according to our historical record. They're lying. They're lying, and I ain't buying. So in all of this, considering the mud floods, Tartaria, giants, the Smithsonian hiding a lot of the archaeological evidence of the giants. You can see Ron Wyatt discovering the Noah's Ark in the mountains of Ararat. You can listen to the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, where the world's wealthiest, um, probably the 1% of the 1%, something like that, probably less than 10,000 people. You can see how they wanted to rule the world with the push of a button using uh, high technology to manipulate the human herd. And now we've got the massive culling of the human herd through wars and poison in the food, water, air. The biofield of our body can be manipulated by the technology. I believe that there's divine protection for those of us who are born again or will be. And it seems easy for some to believe that, well, the devil can possess people. I believe that's for real. Fallen angels and or the devil, demons. However, we also have the Almighty, the true living creator that took up human flesh and dwelt among us, and he now lives in and through me and all of his children that are born again now. And then there are those that will be born again, and they're, I believe, receiving a certain amount of protection to whatever amount of protection that the Almighty wants them and me and anybody else to have, to work out the details of their life purpose. I believe I'm living that out, exposing the truth about everything that I've been able to find out about. Now, I don't know it all. The Almighty is all powerful and all knowing. That's way more than Grok, Elon's computer, or the Dojo, or IBM Watson, or whatever name they want to hang on the so-called artificial intelligence. It's not really artificial. It's a weapon of mass uh, instruction and deception all at the same time. The Almighty use it, and the fallen one use it, and the representative families of each. So, whose side are you on? Have you ever seen anybody break ranks in the dark side, from the dark side? Yeah, absolutely. So you can explore that, see who got the call, who changed. We've also people claiming to be children of God or born again Christians that have completely left the reservation, so to speak. They've gone off the deep end. So just because somebody is spreading Jesus all over what they do doesn't make them a Christian. There's a lot of Christians that are going to go to hell. Why? Well, they're Christ-like, but they're denying the power thereof. There are people that Jesus talked about that couldn't hear him because they were of their father, the devil. Now, I'm not anti-Semitic, neither is Jesus. I'm just exposing the truth that there are people pretending to be the chosen ones of the Almighty, and they're not. Now, he knows that, and one day we'll all know whatever he wants us to know, as much as he wants us to be aware of this battle and what it all means. What I encourage people to do is seek the truth with all your heart because it matters for eternity. Where will you spend forever and why? I believe in the doctrine of the reality of the doctrine of election. The Almighty knows who his children are because he caused them to be his children. And our names were put in the Lamb's Book of Life before the foundation of the world, well before any of us said, hey, I need a little help here. Yeah. So I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. In that period of time, I had done evangelism, street ministry, worked at a full-time ministry, helped build a mega church in Menasha, Wisconsin, known as Christ the Rock Community Church. You can still look it up. I'm probably in some pictures there helping to build the facility and lead men's groups and character development classes. You can see me at Rawhide Boys Ranch helping to redirect young men's lives in an old-fashioned way with biblical morals and traditional family units, that kind of setting in a rural country setting. It was beautiful, and I believe God used me and many others to redirect those young lives. Bart Starr lent credibility to the efforts of John and Jan Gillespie to help fund and create that ministry. So I've been in the presence of and talked to, shook the hands of, learned from CEOs like Darwin Smith of Kimberly Clark Corporation and others, Nina Foundry, kind of like the Fox Valley royalty of sorts. I met through that ministry there. A lot of people donated millions and millions of dollars to help participate in that effort to change lives. Well, I was born again in 2014, even though I started working at Rawhide in 1991, and I had been doing street ministry in that from the early 80s when I thought I was born again. I just didn't have the power and direction directly of the Holy Spirit as a born again child of God. Not all of God's children have been born again the first time, perhaps. That's going to stop at some point in time. We're nearing the end of this as we know it. And yet, on today, the 28th day of February of 2024, there's a lot of people that aren't going to finish out this. They're going to die. And then what? Where will they spend forever and why? Well, the Almighty determined that already. What this is, I believe, is a discovery process where we discover that we're either a child of God or a child of Satan. So the sex, drugs, rock and roll, and pleasure group are largely Satan's children. However, some of them break ranks from that. Um, can a person that sold their soul to the devil for fame and fortune, can they leave that? I'm not exactly sure. If the Almighty wills it, it can certainly happen. So let me just take us outside here for a moment again. We can see the backlighting because of the sun approaching. Imagine, there we go. It's going to appear probably about 6:47 over this way. There's a break in the clouds there. Can't see the moon at all right now. So the weapons of our warfare aren't bullets and tanks and in that. It's information, truth and deception. You can listen to Ephesians, where the Apostle Paul writes about the weapons of our warfare. So in the view of that Tesla that I was right next to, going off of the lights, and when they were pulling up behind me, they were in my blind spot for an extended period of time. I didn't know it was a Tesla then. The cameras that will see this vehicle, especially those that are being fed into the uh, Tesla full self-driving computer system and network that is involved in, well, I believe operating the Tesla, Elon Musk, SpaceX empire, and also linked up with world government. In what capacity? Well, evidently a pretty significant one. He's been presented as the richest man in the world. Is that true? Are there wealthier people? Probably. Yeah, I believe so. Anyway, what will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? We've all got an expiration date. We just don't know when it is. So I survived a near fatal suicide attempt in 2005, well on medication as directed, and I couldn't take it anymore. The medications made me suicidal and homicidal. I've got nothing to hide. I'm exposing the medical industrial complex with documentaries that expose the revolving door with big pharma and regulatory agencies that govern the conduct of these various organizations. So am I going to be on a Joe Rogan podcast? Unlikely. I could do it. I would probably prefer doing it online. I don't really want to travel across country in a car or a plane. Not anymore. The music's going to stop playing at some point in time. I would rather be near my home base when that happens. It's not that I'm all afraid. I can travel the world right now, potentially wherever this is being viewed. Now, here's one of the things. I sent a package to Elon Musk with that shirt, me photoshopped in it, and it was on the outside of the document tube. And then I was contacted by individuals from the Fremont, California exchange, the Oakland exchange out there, that work directly with Tesla. I've got friends on Facebook, or at least one, that apparently is working at Tesla as well. We've talked. Have I ever really talked with Elon? Unlikely. There's technology to change voices to sound like Elon or somebody else, and they not be, or to change them so they don't sound like a fake voice or the individual that they actually are. We've got a very bizarre world in which digital communications can be manipulated to such an extent that it escapes the observation of many with deep fake technology. deep fake. Many of you would know what that is. I was actually being followed publicly by some of the individuals that are architects of artificial intelligence. One of the things that I did systematically while watching the Do You Trust This Computer video that Elon was in, you can see it in my playlist, when a name came up on the screen like, Jeffrey Hinton, I paused the name or paused the video and then connected with him on any platform I could. X was the easiest. I also connected with Kanye West, Keanu Reeves, the world leaders. I distributed this research library to the alphabet agencies, the power structure of the world, from energy generation and distribution to the financial network of the world, as well as the governmental structure of the world. So, does any of that matter? I believe so. I believe it's. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who was a sniper. I guess once a sniper, always a sniper. He's got some pretty long distance threat neutralization or kills. I'm not afraid to say the words. He's also got a gun shop, and he helped me to have a little bit of assertiveness when I say no. I'm licensed to carry and I carry legally. I can't fly carrying, right? That's one of the mechanisms, the sorting tools. You can't fly on it unless you're an air marshal or somebody that's got clearance, or you're on a private plane. You can't be carrying a weapon like that. However, I am a directed energy weapon. It's not just my hands, it's the Almighty that is protecting me and allowing me to live through what would be certain death if they wanted to and tried to kill me. Okay, so towards the top of my list, I've got some documentaries that talk about very suspicious circumstances around the deaths of individuals that were exposing world government and the control of the world population. And one of the reasons to do that is to, I've had people say, "Oh, Bob, the government doesn't care what you're doing." I said, "Well, you're obviously unaware of what I'm doing. That's for sure." So anyway, people can believe what they want. Most people do. So I believe it's only by divine intervention, meaning the Almighty actually removes the veil from in front of the eyes and the heart of the individuals. Have you ever heard, imagine the messenger running up to the castle wall and he says, "Don't kill the messenger. I'm only the messenger." Okay, so I'm not the Almighty, although He lives in and through me and all of His children. A lot of people will kill the messenger in their mind or in their heart, thinking that, oh, that's just a crazy person, a conspiracy kook or a conspiracy theorist. Well, let me tell you something. There's a kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories to hide the true conspirators in what they're up to, how they accomplish what they do. They create the difficulty that they want to present a solution that will further enslave and reduce the population through wars, genocide by starvation, through all the different methods. You can look in the history books if they still. Yeah, a book is probably one of the places that it's easier to find some of the documentation if you can actually find the book. But keep in mind, when Google is one of the organizations to scan books and download them or upload them to the cloud, a digital library. I've chosen a different course of action. I'll take whatever videos that I can find that I believe add credibility to the story that I'm exposing, and I'll feature those. Now, some of those videos might have a view count or a like count that's very low, yet they're exposing truth, and they're also the official video that mirrored video is based on may have had many millions of views. So here's one of the clues that I want to give you is that my landing video on my channel is called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. On that video, I've got a lot of hyperlinks in the comment thread, over 600, that will go to other platforms and other types of content that explain with less censorship what I'm wanting to elaborate on and yet can't. So would they have me on a live interview? Unlikely. It's not that they really want the truth. The system really doesn't want the truth. They want somebody that they can make fun of. And they've made fun of yours truly. I'm on some of the most subscribed YouTube channels. At the time, it was the most subscribed YouTube channel at the Flat Earth International conferences, where you could see me wearing a trench coat standing behind the original Truth Mobile, the Lexus LS400 with Bible.com on the back, and you can read comments. A lot of my comments won't be seen on the platforms, on the videos, because I'm being hidden, whether it's by the actual channel owner, or it may be hidden by the AI, the artificial intelligence, so-called, across all the different platforms. Now, let's see, we've got 6:31. We're about 20 minutes away from sunrise. Let's take another look at what it's looking like now. So the sun is shooting across the moisture, across the stationary level plane. That's what we live on, a stationary level plane. It's not exactly flat. This is my bubble level. I can put the bubble right in the middle of the bullseye, and it'll stay there all day long, like on a concrete or granite countertop. See how much lighter it is right now? That's the way it works. And when the sun is lower on the horizon, it's coming through a lot more atmosphere that has particulate in it and different gases and humidity level. There's the moon right there. How about that? For a brief appearance. The moon is self-luminating, meaning that it makes its own light. It's the light in the sky. The sun, moon, and stars move above the stationary level Earth, and we've got a firmament up above us. Ooh, that's a racing red Tesla Model S. Let me zoom in on that. Pretty cool car. So is Elon actually interested in free energy? I think not. He's making a lot of money buying wholesale electricity and selling it at a retail level. It's a pretty cool business model. And am I smarter than Elon Musk? No. Is God smarter than Elon Musk and the AI he's using? I would say absolutely, of course. The Almighty is all-powerful and all-knowing. That's the truth. So it's either true or not true when you're looking at information. Is it true or not true? So the research library I've compiled, like I say, is linked up with my name and phone number. And some locally here would say, well, why do you have the 1? We all know it's a 1. Well, that's the country code. I have calls from people from all over the world. Because of the nature of what we're dealing with, we're dealing with a a world government, a world tyranny that's exploiting humanity. It's not really the elite. I prefer to refer to them as the parasite class, the corruptors, the deceivers. How about that? Isn't that special? This could be my last song. This could be my last broadcast. I don't know. Um, right now, what's going on in the world is so bizarre, and it's going to be fatal to a lot of people. We've got wars going on. We've got hidden assassinations and that type of thing that happen. And then there's people that are the walking dead. They don't have a real sense of passion, purpose, or eternal perspective. I feel sorry for them. So what I've wanted to do is reach out to everybody I can to help them and or you make a educated decision, a choice on your eternity. The Almighty chooses who his children are, and by default, who Satan's children are. You can disagree with my theology, that's and my sociology and everything else, if you want, if you choose to. It's either true or not true. There's no in between on that. So all that being said, I get calls literally any time of the day or night from anywhere in the world. And why? Well, I've found a way through all this. A part of the detox protocol that I'm on is to make a concerted effort to put healthy nutrients in my body and keep the toxins out, including the deception. So I can review um, a video that's exposing the deception. I can even feature it on my channel. So, or in my deep learning AI research library, the deception is there too. I'm exposing it, and I'm giving you the key, uh, or the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I would have no way been able to do what I've done or what the Almighty has done through me in my own strength. He's the one. I give him all the credit for it. Do I go left or right? Do I go to this conference? And when I heard about the January 6th event in Washington, I thought that would, if there were any place that I for sure wouldn't want to be on that day, that was the place. And there were videos that showed more detail of what actually happened that day, and they've been suppressed and taken off of YouTube. In fact, the level of deception and manipulation is so advanced, it, like I say, it escapes the awareness of most people. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know. Pride is a powerful, and neither do I. I don't know what I don't know or what you do or don't know. Heck, I don't even know who you are unless I know who you are, right? I mean, some people will watch me even though they've unfriended me or kind of blocked me. They're not interested in talking anymore, because, well, that was their choice apparently, or it might have been our correspondence may have been severed or interrupted with the AI. I'm not sure. I'm not all upset with them. They might even be dead, some of them. So there's voice cloning and there's video deep faking of people. So you may think you're talking to somebody that's not even really there. It's a persona or a representation of somebody that's not even technically what you think they are. It's a real deception that exists too. So we're living in a bizarre Twilight Zone kind of experience. I'll feature music, nature videos, hard-hitting documentaries, how to get healthy and stay healthy. Intermittent fasting is an important part of clearing the added calories in the body, The fat gets stored around skeletal muscle, and if you've got visceral fat around your innards in the midsection, not good. It can clear out. The body can be forced to burn excess calories. And I had a whole paradigm shift in my perspective on how that works. Some will say, well, you're dissolving your body. It's getting rid of the extra stuff that needs to go away. A water fast is a wonderful way of resetting the body's metabolism and then building it back better with healthy nutrients and true information. I listen to God's Word, the Bible, day and night. Not 24/7, I just listen to it a lot. And then meditate on it and see how what I'm seeing or thinking matches up with what the Bible says to be true. So right now I've got some hunger pangs. That's okay. You want to see how I'm going to show you how I'm going to get rid of them right now. So that's a neutral pH water that has been sitting in the sun. It changes the density of the water. It can, and I believe the energy level. So here's one of the other realities. The volume and density of water changes when the temperature changes. No more hunger pangs. The acid has been largely neutralized. We've got a very sophisticated system of neuron activity between our extremities and our brain, and all of that, how that works together, is absolutely amazing. You can learn about neuroscience um, and science fiction as well. There's a lot of science fiction on my channel as well, exposing the reality of it. So in the movies, we're presented a lot of truth that's being concealed as science fiction. And then on the news and documentaries, the official narrative, we're being presented science fiction as truth. It's an inversion. We've got men pretending to be women, women pretending to be men, and chemicals being put in the food, water, and air and information to accelerate and contribute to gender dysphoria. We've got role models of perversion as well that are being put out there. And you can look for them and find healthy role models of people that have found the truth and are living in the power of the Spirit and putting our life on the line to expose that. I've got people I would like to thank, and then I could go on. So, who would I like to thank? First and foremost, the Almighty, who gave me a new life, who gave me a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I previously couldn't do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even though it's very unpopular. And I would also like to thank the truth tellers that I featured on my YouTube channel and my research library. And I would like to invite everybody to consider what they're doing. What they're actually doing proves what they actually believe. I include myself in that too. What I do actually proves to me what I actually believe. Geese flying. Anyway, let's take another look around, see what it looks like out there. So some people may think that because Starbucks makes a lot of money, that they can just open a coffee shop and make a lot of money. There's more going on than selling coffee with Starbucks. It's selling a business investment. And that also happens with the big box stores like Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart and all of that. There's large corporations that can basically power the world with hopium or hope. There's the Hilton Garden Inn. It would take a lot to make this structure, this grand coastal grand mall. However, with just digits in a computer that can be added and then interest charged on that money, the banksters of this world fund the wars and all of that. I want to illustrate something here too. That's a black mirror. It's a tinted window. If there's more, where there's more light inside, you can see in there. If I block the light around, you can see inside there like that. It's the way it is. So, like, you may want to keep in mind, if there's a lot of chaos going on outside, you may want the lights off in your home so you're not looking like you're in a fishbowl. That's kind of the way that's just the way it is now. Part of what's going on in our world in the United States here is there are a lot of people in New York that are absolutely freaking out because there's a lack of trucking going into New York delivering needed food and supplies. What's going to happen there? What I believe about it is not really affecting what's going on. What I believe about people doing their own thing and giving God the finger and the Almighty the finger and saying, I don't want you telling me what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. What I'm simply doing is exposing it. It's healthy to have an accurate situational awareness so that you can make choices based on that, more accurate choices that are gonna help you and others. So, for example, I've given away Bibles, I've given away Bible CDs, and then, they're kind of faded now, but I have Bible.com stickers that I've given out, the digital audio Bible that I've shared through the Facebook groups and through my YouTube channel. I've got a digital audio Bible merged with the Beauty of Creation you can see on my channel as well and in my library. So I think, what do we want to do here? Let's just flip this around and see what that looks like. So I did an extended video here years ago, about 4.5 years ago. It was, about 4.5 years ago. It was when we had the pandemic and lockdowns and all that. It was very disturbing, of course, seeing what we saw. And they're not done with that, and they're not done with this massive manipulation of humanity. So what's it going to be like? What's it going to be like for you? How about the billionaires and trillionaires? Are they going to enjoy looking at what they've done with the place? This mass genocide, this corruption of humanity? Well, the people that are actually indwelt by malevolent spiritual entities, such as the devil, Satan, fallen angels, demons, they hate God. They hate every evidence of God. They hate me. They hate anybody that's actually living for the Almighty, with the Almighty living through us. They can't stand Him. So if in fact the simulation, with the simulation hypothesis as a backdrop for this, could Satan be able to view what's going to ultimately happen to him and decide that he doesn't want to do it, that he doesn't want to rebel against God, going all the way back to the heavenlies before he was cast out of heaven? I don't know. The scripture, the Bible hasn't elaborated on that. Not that I'm aware. However, I'm still going to go out and proclaim the good news, the great news, the best news, the gospel, and I'm going to expose the deeds of darkness. That's why I was created. That's why I get to do this. So I think what I'm gonna do for a little bit is go ahead and take us for a drive. So imagine if your car could be perpetually charging while it's driving. I know that there are people that say you can't violate the laws of the conservation of energy and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. Water is a fuel source. That's what I'm talking about. And permanent magnets are a fuel source too for generating electricity. And there will be people that will say, nope, can't do it, not buying it. Well, people largely believe what they want to believe, do what they want to do. So what if there was a large, a 40-foot shipping container, let's say right here. Imagine if it were possible to generate the electricity that's sold here. Well, there is. Elon just buys it wholesale, sells it retail. That's how he does it. It's profitable. So that's probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want me talking about free energy and perpetual driving machines. Well, I'll do what I can as long as I can. So here's another Tesla, a white one. Looks like a Model Y right in the middle of the view. I just talk about getting rid of range anxiety. Imagine if you could just drive that car and it have a permanent magnet motor generator in the back, or a fuel cell that is operating on water, HHO, hydroxygen, that's generated by the electricity that's being released from the abundance of energy coming from the water. It's not that it makes a little bit more energy. So people say you can't get more out than you put in. I'm saying I don't agree with you on that, because when they pump oil out of the ground, they've got energy involved in the drilling and the refining of the petroleum products and the distribution and resale. There's a whole network of activity that needs to go on and does, and they're making money. They're making bank on it, or they wouldn't be doing it. So they're getting more out than they're putting in. That's just the way it is. I just thought I would help you to consider that. That's the reality of it. So I had one of my friends say it's going to take you a lot of time to recover that money that you spent for this car on fuel savings. Well, it's more than just getting good fuel economy. This car will do some things that my other car would not be able to do. This car has a large generator on it that I can operate my deep cycle batteries and inverter to power my freezers. And if I need climate control, let's say it's a little bit hot or cold outside, I can be in the car camping in my garage if I want to, and I can run the exhaust out the attic through the roof vent. I've got some plumbing for that. So it's a very efficient energy generator. And yeah, it takes gasoline. It could even be running on water. It's just that it's rather complicated with the computer system and having it be directly a water car. That's not my primary purpose in life, is to do that. It's simply to obey the Almighty, to do what He created me to do, and to expose the truth about everything that I've found out is what I'm here to do. And that's why I do it. So rather than trying to please myself or others, that ends badly. I just simply want to do what I'm created to do, and then the Almighty takes care of the reward. He rewards me and others for doing that individually. So we've got a system network, like you could see the school bus that I just went by. That's a government school. It's an indoctrination center. And then so are the colleges. I remember being very frustrated in school, wondering how in the world the information I was forced to remember and regurgitate, how it had any bearing on my future. And then, I found out, it's because it was indoctrination. And then a lot of what I believe should be informed about, we're not being told. There's a sky wheel there. It's a psychedelic version of it. It's kind of cool. So the wars are based on deception. The silent weapons for quiet wars fire situations rather than bullets. And with wars there's actually bullets too. However, the primary weapon is deception. And then the truth as well, the truth about that. So the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, nor is it an opinion. It's simply the objective reality, what is actually factually true. And the truth is the most censored topic ever. It's just the way that it is. So there are many that will give lip service to loving the truth. I believe it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. How will you be able to see it when it's right in front of you? Well, here's the real important aspect of all that. and that is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2:11. God's word says to everybody and all spiritual entities, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a strong delusion. So they're going to believe the lie they apparently want to believe, and God is going to help them do that. How disturbing is that? So that's why there are people that are going to find out on Judgment Day when they say, Lord, Lord, didn't we drive out demons, work miracles, and prophesy? And he says, away from me, you evildoers, I never knew you. So one of the most theologically deep books of the Bible is the Gospel of John. And in John 1, his word says, they were born of the Spirit, not the decision of man. We don't decide to be a child of God. He decides that for us. The little children in strollers and that are in the pregnant mothers and that, they don't, as far as I understand, there's no evidence that an entity decides to be incarnated. It just happens by the determination, the will of God. So his will is going to be done, and he ultimately has victory. I think that's absolutely awesome. I'm grateful for that. So I don't have to worry about where everybody's going to end up. That's been predetermined. I got in the slow lane, unfortunately. I could have zoomed all around him, but anyway, that's what happened. This is Highway 17 in Myrtle Beach. And because it's rush hour, I'll do better to get back on the freeway. There will be a lot of sirens going off because people are going to be smashing into one another during rush hour. It happens almost every day. Where I live, I can hear the emergency vehicles leaving their home base there, just about a mile from my neighborhood, but it's easy to hear the sirens. And it's normally around rush hour. Happens every day, pretty much. So my odometer tells me the speed I'm going, and let's see, I'm gonna want to flip this down in a moment. I'm just gonna set it for the speed limit. It's 45 here, and that's what I'm going. And people are not gonna like that, and that's okay. I'm not responsible for what they like or don't like. I'm just responsible for doing what I'm supposed to do. And there's a metaphor of that as well. What's interesting, too, is that while I'm doing that, people can get all upset about it, and yet when they see a state trooper or a local police officer, they have a change of heart. All of a sudden, they want to be more compliant because a ticket quite often is over $300 for exceeding the speed limit. So the law enforcement around where I live gets to see me driving the speed limit often. That's just what I do. I go through a lot of speed traps. So why not just go the speed limit and enjoy the ride? Save fuel, all of that. So that's what I'll do. And it really is convenient for merging and allowing other people to merge as well. If somebody is going really fast in the merging lane, well, for one, if they're breaking the speed limit, that's a problem. The other problem is it really makes it difficult for people trying to merge. How can they get in if some knucklehead is racing through that window that they would like to get into? Therein lies the problem. And so the human nature is selfish. It wants to do things its own way. So that's just the way it is. Now here, the speed limit is 65, and I can show you. I'll just tell you. No, I can show you. So I'm going the speed limit, and then this happens. You know, the battery charges. It'll use the electric motor as well as the engine to charge the battery. All that's going on. So right now it says I'm getting 69, 55, 49. It varies quite a bit. But overall, the primary reason why I got this car is because it's extremely reliable and economical. And I use it for advertising. Now the other one, the Lexus, is on the end of my driveway. And that also does advertising for the people that drive in and out of our neighborhood, hundreds of cars a day, and the eyes in the sky. Whatever drones and planes that fly over, it's there for them too. And it's not that somebody needs to be looking out of the cockpit. A lot of these planes have very sophisticated technology. You can see Jay Tuck talking about it on AI Will Kill Us All. It's got millions of views. It's talking about autonomous drones, autonomous weapons, and all of that. Another Tesla. So while I'm doing this, the AI that evaluates the Tesla inputs, all the data sets that it can monitor, where all the Teslas are driving and what they're seeing. It's literally mind-blowing technology. All of it is. Now, I used to be able to do a live stream Saturday. I did a live stream on Facebook, downloaded it, and then uploaded it to YouTube. Sunday I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it yesterday either. It changed. So when I say I believe that I'm a part of that censorship, I'm trying to work around the censorship, and then the system is trying to work around that. And so it's what I want you to consider. It's not just my thoughts. We're, I believe, a receiver of information from multiple sources, but ultimately between God and Satan, the fallen one and the Almighty. That the people around that we see, including animals and all that, have an input from God. Yesterday, while I was washing the cars on the driveway, there was a little mallard hen underneath the bushes, and she was a little bit worried that I was out there, but she's seen me for a while. I could see her scoping out the location yesterday, and she laid some eggs there and left them there, and then she decided to go on a little field trip and covered the eggs up. Can't even see them there now. How did she learn to do that? How do the animals navigate and migrate and all of that? How do they know what? Well, the Almighty helps them to figure that out, or causes them to know what to do. I believe that reality. So I've had videos recently of the sunrise at the beach, and now you can see what it looks like when I'm going down Highway 31, the mirror of the sea level liquid mirror of the water retention pond. Reality exposes the global lie. So does my research library. I've got powerful documentaries exposing it all. And although the shape of the earth doesn't really matter in some ways, it's not so much the shape as it is the truth of the Bible exposing the lies of Satan. That's the reason why it matters. So the short answer to anybody who cares to hear it, and you can use this one too, I do, the truth matters. The more important the question, the more important an accurate answer is. So it's either true or not true. Now the exciting part of all this is some of the people that are living for their own pleasure and being manipulated by Satan to do that, and by the Almighty to believe that that's an endeavor worth living out. They may even believe that Satan and the Almighty are fairy tales, that it's not true. Well, that's part of the grand delusion, the grand deception that's going on. Like I say, in the battle between good and evil, truth and deception are primary weapons. So people will go to arms to defend the homeland or basically to do what they want to do with their life, to live their life the way they want to live it. So that doesn't end well for the people that live that way. So what I found out with my mixed fuel economy, I average between 47 and 50 miles to the gallon of gasoline normally. That's a big gravel pit over there. And then they hit water, so it fills up the big quarry there. It's the Barefoot sand pit, gravel pit. So there's fuel being transported right there, a couple of trucks worth. Then dump trucks moving blacktop and gravel, and we've got electrical contractors, painters. It's a busy day. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to do what I get to do. And so I'll keep doing that. I would say it's the best deal going. So I'm going to take us down towards the beach this way. I hope you enjoy the ride. I know I do. So I didn't have the money to buy this car. I had to go to a bank to get the money, and it's at an interest rate that's higher than I'd want to pay. And that's just the way that it is. But the cost of my loan is $176 a month. That's economical. And I'm saving a lot of fuel to do it. And I've got a vehicle that will take me a lot further on a gallon of gas, which could be, well, very important. Right now, the price of fuel went up. It was like $2.85, now it's $3.07, depending on where you find it here. But if I had to evacuate my home, I could throw some gas cans in the car and go 1,000 miles easy. I could go about 1,500 miles. There's a subculture of car campers with Priuses, people living in their cars and camping in their cars. I think it's kind of interesting how we can observe the sun as we travel, when the sun or the moon while we're driving, how it appears. Fascinating to me. Now the engine just shuts off. It's a great design. What I did in 2005, I wrote down how, on a legal pad, I wrote down the design concept for a hydroelectric semi with regenerative braking on the trailer as well as the tractor, and a large battery under the opportunity space of the trailer between the tractor and the front tires on the tires on the trailer. It could all be done. It might eventually be done. I'm not sure. But imagine if you could have a battery all charged up and waiting at a dock. If you're working with a dedicated network like a Walmart, they could all be charged. They could have their own energy generators. You can look at some of the economics of an autonomous electric semi, and the savings if it were a perpetual driving machine making its own electricity, or having it made at the home base and using that network of batteries that are either on the semi or also a charging system. What an amazing combination that would be. A lot of truck drivers are not happy to be driving. Some love it, some hate it. It's a necessary evil for them. A lot of time, depending on the driving. I mean, a dump truck driver is typically local, and a long haul is, well, it's a long haul, and they're on the road a lot, and they don't get to see their family much. And so we've got a disintegrated family structure because of the greed that fuels our economy, and the speculation using the stock market and a maximum ROI, return on investment. So it's, you could create widgets and sell them, or you could raise animals and sell them, or you could make money and buy it all. So that's what they've done. The rulers of the world create the money out of thin air and buy all the stuff, charge whatever they want for interest, rent. You'll own nothing and be happy. Really. Somebody's going to own it, right? So I'm not all bitter. I actually enjoy the routine that I have, what I get to do. This is Main Street in North Myrtle Beach. On a busy year, the Grand Strand, which is the 60 miles of sand or so, beachfront, will get up to 20 million guests, so it's busy everywhere. This is typically viewed as the off season, which is kind of nice. From October to March, it's quite a bit quieter. And then it's going to get real busy, hopefully. Some say they don't like it. Well, we wouldn't have such a nice place here, well manicured and kept up and all of that if it weren't if we didn't get all the guests. So there you go. Wow, it looks really windy. It's supposed to be a windy day, but because of the being in the mobile broadcast studio here with the glass, it's nice and quiet, good visibility. Can't beat it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom here. I'll be back. call anytime you like, okay? Thank you. So I don't know if you were able to see Andrea there. She's got a dog walking business. Oh, let me yeah, if you're local, let me go ahead and show the card. Let's see. There you go. She loves YouTube. There's Andrea's pet and house sitting dog walker. Oh, nice. Let's see what the other side says. There you go. So as far as the choreography, how does that work? I drove quite a while and had an opportunity to meet Andrea, and she asked me what that was all about, what my car was all about. And I told her. And there she goes. So those divine appointments, and then people, how do they find our stuff, or what I've put together? It can be by divine intervention. So the car creates a force of sorts. It can be curiosity and drawing somebody to the information, or a repulsion, repelling a person away. And that's just the nature of it, how it is. And the truth is like that too. The truth is divisive by its very nature. That's how it works out. And I was going to describe too, I took a bit of time but to use the restroom, but to drink this water, I also had plenty of electrolytes in my diet, which causes me to be well hydrated. If a person drinks too much water and doesn't get enough electrolytes, the water can be just passing right through them. So the healthy sea salt that I consume, it helps the cellular hydration. You can see the evidence for that in my research library. Barbara O'Neill did a great job of that, talking about the importance of the water. Same with Gerald Pollack and the phase of water, the easy water, or the exclusionary zone water, and Stephanie Seneff talking about the way that sunlight and salt and water work together and has almost like magical properties, electrically speaking, for how our body operates, the neural connectivity. I had really excellent reaction time when I raced motocross, and that was while I was pretty tough on my body. Towards the end, I had gotten involved in drugs and alcohol, but when I was a young whippersnapper, like 14, I knew what lactic acid was and how it caused muscle pain, and I learned about baking soda and electrolytes and how important all that was for reaction time. And I've been curious as long as I can remember. I'm 62 now. I don't feel 62. I feel young and I feel healthy because there's not only the chronological age, there's a state of mind, or how we actually see life. I feel energetic. I am energetic, and I feel younger than I am, and that's part of what I'm advertising is a life lived for God. He provides the health and wellness to enjoy His creation and the life that He lives through us. I believe that's a benefit for everybody that walks with Him. is that benefit. So this is a place I come to quite a bit, and a lot of people will come out on the beach. Maybe not as much today. It's going to be warmer, but it's going to be pretty windy too. Probably 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. Good morning. So when I'm not here, my sticker is still here. People can see that. I've got them in other locations around as well. Gives people an opportunity to check things out if they care to. And as people are driving down the main way, it'll be iconic. This is an icon for the truth guy. They'll see it, and they may decide to check it out, see what I'm about. Let's take a walk further out. The ocean is pretty rough today, and the weather, since the weather is getting warmer, it's evidence that we've got an onshore, meaning that it's coming from the south. And this is about a steady 15 mile an hour wind. And there's the Cherry Grove Pier. So there's a fan over there running. I can show you. I think you can see it in the middle of the view. And there's a wind generator just up the road. It makes electricity to operate things over there. We've got energy that is being released all around us, whether it's the sun, the wind, the temperature differentials. There's all kinds of effective ways to harness that energy. Now, these bathrooms over here are a composite, like a strong plastic. The one that I went into earlier was steel reinforced concrete. Which would you rather be in if a water spout or a tsunami came on through? I can tell you. Steel reinforced concrete, baby. That's what I would want. Now, in an off-grid setting, I could have a storage unit dropped onto an island that has foam core, wire truss, 3D panels, and a concrete mixer or a hoe, and I could mix water up and use a shotcrete or a gunite installation if I had all of that, or I could just mortar it on there and have steel reinforced concrete, a little skid steer loader in there as well to dig a subterranean component to it to draw energy from the thermal mass of the earth. And I would want that to be up higher, a mountain or a location where the water is not going to get to it easily. So in the big storms we've had water come through as high as those red signs, a storm surge. That's unusually high. That's not normal. In the tidal activity, it's between 4 and 7 feet, like clockwork. So the ocean has a lot of electrolytes in it, and it's affected by the energy from the sun and the moon. That's just a fact. People get real bent out of shape on the whole exposing the globe situation. However, see that lighthouse in the middle of the view? Well, we can see lighthouses from way too far away on the ocean for it to be a globe, the proportion that they say. So we can't find the curvature that they say we have, and we can't sense the motion that's not happening. 1,000 mile per hour supposed rotation, and then an orbiting and a wobbling, and you can read about all the supposed movement that we can't feel because it ain't happening. The Bible is a stationary level earth or a flat earth book, whether you like it or not. So people that are buying the global lie and spreading Jesus all over their life, like none of those conspiracies matter because they believe they're all born again. They may not be. They may never be. That's not up to me. I don't decide by my belief or belief that they are or aren't. Or are they operating in their own strength? Are they obeying or disobeying? I'm not the boss of that. I'm not the judge of that. So Scripture says that we'll be judged as we are judged. But for the grace of God, here go I. It's only by His grace, my unmerited favor for His gift of salvation. That's the only way anybody is saved, is by the grace of God. Man, that's unpopular. Oh well, people want to earn their way. Can't be done. If it could be done, we wouldn't need a Savior. So, there you go. So, there's a Pepsi truck. Steve Jobs was talking at one point in time to an executive of Pepsi. I believe he was the president at the time. He said, "Do you want to sell sugar water or change the world?" Well, I'm going to extrapolate from that I want to change the world. I want to expose the truth about everything so people have an adequate, or I should say, so they can make an informed choice on not only their eternity, their day-to-day life, what they choose to do or not do. It's a big deal. Okay, so I'm all locked in at 45, getting ready to merge over to the left side there, because I've got to go left eventually. I've got a Tesla coming up behind me right now, going about 50. You'll see him. A white one. Very nice. I believe that's Model X or a Y. They look very similar, but I believe that might be an X. I drove one about 4 years ago, a Model X. Pretty impressive. Very powerful. So in the off-grid living, you could have a Tesla and your own electrical harvesting system and a generator to make your own electricity. Not one that you fill up with gas. Well, I've got videos showing how you can make electricity from water with the Stanley Meyer type technology and the Joe cell technology. How about that? Yeah, they kill those guys. And I believe Stanley Meyer is a brother in Christ. I'll probably get to see him again. I would believe so. He had Jesus Christ as Lord on the side of his dune buggy. I know what it was like to be afraid, and I know what it's like to not be afraid. I'm not. So now I'm catching up to this car. I should be able to be right behind him. And then it imprints this vehicle persona to that supercomputer. There it is right there. 8 full-time cameras, apparently. So, for example, thinking about it like this, I can't make gasoline. However, I can harvest electricity. I've got a little solar panel, I've got deep cycle batteries, I've got this generator in this car that I can run on gasoline, and I've got quite a bit of gas stored up. If we have a societal collapse and it's not fitting to be out in public much, I would just stay home and keep my freezers running and maybe do some live streams if I can. I can tether my computer to my phone. I've got different ways of connecting, even if I don't have electricity at home. Or I should say, if I don't have electricity from the power company, but I've got electricity in this car and a nice big battery. So it was way more involved why I got this and just have the other Truthmobile as a place marker on my driveway. So it's rush hour, typically a little after, it's 19 minutes to 8, and typically around 8 o'clock there will be sirens going off. People smashing into each other. I prefer not being on the motorcycle in rush hour in the areas where it gets difficult. Now, as maybe you noticed, going to the beach, it was pretty quiet once I got off of 17. Imagine if that big diesel were running on electricity that it harvests when it slows down, and then there's other means to make that electricity. So if the house that I'm living in or you're living in has a basement that goes pretty deep, you could have it as deep as you want to go, but typically a 10-foot deep basement, and then insulated concrete coming up out of that, it takes very little energy to climate control it, especially in a Mediterranean climate. And then the excess energy the energy that you're saving, you can be storing in a battery in your car or a large set of batteries for your household. Keep in mind, in a collapsing society, joyriding out in the car is not going to be much of a thing. And I don't know how long it's going to last. It may be temporary, just right before the end of the end. We'll see. Eventually, we'll see. So I missed the green arrow, but I would have had to speed to get it. There's a cement truck right there. So my dad used to sell steel to Oshkosh Truck. Notice the puddle there, the mirror that is? It's a perfect mirror. And Oshkosh Truck made cement trucks, still do. And they're military platforms that are through the Oshkosh Defense. They can put all kinds of weapons on that platform, and they're diesel electric. It's like a big locomotive with a big diesel generator and electric motors to operate. So unless I get these cars stopping for me, it looks like they're stopped. I'm on my way. How cool. Yeah, they were all backing up, but I just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to go any further. We just had the development, the roads done this past month. They did a nice job here. I did a little video. You can see my videos category. She's getting ready to go to government school. I see her almost every day. The youth in this neighborhood drive by my car. They go to my channel. They're under 14. I can't. On YouTube, I have all my videos set for adults. It's not age restricted. I'm just not featuring for children. However, I can cross over and get out of that digital quarantine by doing this, by having the truth mobiles. So that's my garage door opener in a bag. Looks like a bald eagle flying over there. How cool is that? Now I'm on full electric. That's nice. So I don't exhaust up my garage. So there's the truth cycle, the shadow. I like that. I get between 50 and 75 miles to the gallon with that. Now the old truth mobile gets about 10 miles to the gallon in the city. Not very economical. Oh, there's the duck. I don't want to freak her out, but I'm going to zoom in and show you. She's right in the middle of the view. See how she blends in there? One. Now, what I wanted to show you too, I've talked about this for years. At the Denver conference, I was talking to Rich from the London Guardian. I said, where in the world can a wind chime hang anywhere upside down in relationship to other wind chimes? It can't happen. There's up and down, not upside down in relationship to one another. So we have a gentle little breeze here. And that's the way that works. That's how that actually is. It hangs vertical. Cranes wouldn't work. So the situational awareness that I talk about is how it actually works. How does it actually work for real? Not the make-believe world that we're told. How does it actually work? So I've got my little garden amendments, the coffee grounds and banana peels. I found this on the beach one day. It works good to hold my shepherd hook in the position there for my wind chime. So one of the things that I'll do too, I may turn my air conditioner on to drop it 1 degree even when it's really cold outside. It makes it real easy to... It's doing it again. So here's the other truth mobile. I'll show you. I had the Bible.com sticker on it at the first conference. People razzing me about that in the comment thread. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. So the eyes in the sky can see this. We have very sophisticated aircraft that fly over here from the, the one with the radar on top. And then I've got this here. People can see that. If somebody says, hey, we need to talk to you, yeah, give me a call. Especially with what happened in the last few years. I wouldn't have wanted to open up and talk to anybody from the health department or the sheriff's department. I'd say, yeah, give me a call. Not coming in, not having house guests. That's how I roll. So anyway, thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. This is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. Feel free to give me a call if you think I need to know something different or in addition. Thank you much. Let's see, what do I